Hello, John aka Chicken Fillets here, and it's time once again for a remembering episode. The series, well, I remember about a video game. Now, if there's spoilers and mistakes in the video, well, you have been warned, because, well, we do this in a one-shot, one-take format. So yeah, that is your warning. There could be plenty of mistakes. Now, I will apologise from the outset that my voice is a bit knackered at the moment, so it's sounding a bit deeper and a bit more monotone than usual, so bear with me. Now, how we like to do this? Actually, we should maybe talk about the game, should we? So today's game we're going to look at is VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. So what we'll do with this is we will discuss how I got into the game, then we'll talk about my thoughts whilst playing the game, and then the future of said title. So let's get cracking on with how I got into VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. Now, my history with VIII as a series, well, my first time playing one of these was on the PS Vita, and that was VIII Memories of Celceta, which was a remake of a previous early title in the VIII series, and that really got me into that. The action combat in that game was really fun. The music was standout. I mean, anything from Falcom is always an utter banger. So why kept my eyes out for new upcoming games for my PS Vita? At the time, I was always keen to get more from a Vita. It was my primary console over my PlayStation 4 and anything else. As I've mentioned on this channel plenty of times, I am at heart a handheld gamer. Now, would you believe that this originally came out in 2016 in Japan and 2017 in the rest of the world for PS Vita? So I originally picked this up on the PS Vita. I remember I had vouchers for Entertainment Exchange, CEX in the UK. Now, if you don't know this, on release date, you can usually pick up games from there and use your vouchers, and usually if you buy them on release date, they will be release date copies. I've had a fair few games from CEX where I've bought on release date and they've still been in the wrapper. It's been crazy. So essentially I bought this with a voucher and I played it in its entirety whilst on holiday on the PS Vita. So let's talk about, well, what were my thoughts during the game? So from the outset, we play as our red-headed hero, or red-haired hero, should I say, Adol Kristen, but we also play later on down the line of a brand new character known as Dana. So with the age-old thing with Adol, he is on a ship, and the rule of thumb is never to go on a ship with Adol, because you know what will happen. Yes, it will crash, it will sink to the sea, and he will land up lost somewhere. So yes, Adol's on a passenger ship and he basically gets attacked. The boat gets capsized, and him and the other survivors, including his blue-haired friend Dogi, end up on a remote island which has got a mystery behind it. From there we look for survivors and we build up our base camp, and we do the usual idea with these games, which is the exploration, with also fighting the bad guys of the island, you know, the enemies, the little creatures, etc. Now with this, it's an action JRPG and it has got the combat nailed. It is an awesome fast-paced combat system with this. Very easy to grasp. You're very quick in leveling up your attacks, being able to upgrade your weapons, etc. We also get a party which you can seamlessly switch between. Now, bear in mind, I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but there's a ginger-haired lassie who is kind of prim and proper. There's a fisherman who's like built like a brick house. There's a guy with a Slash from Guns N' Roses hat with a gun, and then there is a local to the island who walks around with a hammer bigger than her. Then later on down the line we play as Dana, who is actually a character based in the past who shares like a link, like a telepathic link with Adol when he's in his sleep, and you could see what has actually happened to this island. The island itself had a civilization on it that Dana was a part of, which fell to a calamity. And from there, from my remembering, it's up to Adol and that to get out off the island and kind of break this curse, which stops people essentially from leaving the island, etc. Generally, there's some great fun to be had in this. There is like sort of defending your base against waves of enemies, which is, again, really fast paced. You really have to like watch your eye on the map where all the enemies are coming from. One of the strongest points of this game is the exploration, as you would expect with any sort of Ys games, and this is honestly probably one of the better Ys games out there. I do like Ys 9 Monstrum Nox, but I feel this is like probably the top tier Ys game that I have played. Dana's section is really fun as well. Another standout, as always, because of it being a Falcom game, is the soundtrack. Sunshine Coastline, which is like one of the first battle themes or like island themes that you hear, is a fan favourite. It is just amazing. Now, what's funny is that I said at the start with this game is that it came out originally in 2017, but it feels like it's still kind of a brand new game, and that's because this game's been getting re-releases and ports, etc. So like it got ported to PlayStation 4, it got a port to Nintendo Switch, it's recently had a PS5 launch as well. It's one of these titles which keeps on being at the forefront of action JRPGs, and it's for a good reason. This is a class game, class act, everything about it is so much fun. Now, as I mentioned, I played this on the PS Vita, which was an experience. Obviously, the power of the PS Vita for this game was amazing. For what they could achieve on the PS Vita, and by the way, PS Vita is life. It is one of the best consoles ever made. You know, it was just outstanding what could be done with it. And yeah, with any sort of Falcom game, there is performance issues, but that didn't really damper my experience with this game, and I really do want to go back to it. Now, for the longest time, this game became quite expensive for the Vita. I haven't checked the pricing of it recently, but at one point, looking back on CEX's website like months and months ago, like this was one of the most expensive games to buy on the system. I don't know if that still stands today. Could be because obviously with it being a Vita game originally and the scarcity maybe of physical copies, I don't know. But I really enjoy playing on the PS Vita. I've not played it on any of the other systems, ports, etc. But I can imagine all the quality of life improvements have done, especially if you're upping the frame rates, etc. Now, don't quote me, I don't know if that is on the newer ports, but I would think so. You know, if you want to fully use the power of the PS5, etc. You know, there's no reason why I couldn't have 60 FPS. So yeah, absolutely love this game. The story as well. It's just that unraveling mystery with Adol's, adventures is what really draws you in. And it did have a satisfying ending compared to Memories of Celceta. But we can do another video about that another day. Now let's talk about the future of the Ys series. Now, Ys is a very strong IP for Falcom. Now, we have got a new title coming out later this year at the time of recording, known as Ys 10 Nordics, which is an earlier adventure in Adol's life. So, Ys games are going strong. We'll still have more titles to come after Ys 10 Nordics. So, I don't think we really have to worry too much about Falcom's action JRPG giant, because Adol's been on the forefront of action JRPGs for a very, very long time, and I don't suspect this will change. So yes, there we go. That is another remembering episode in the books, and this time it's about VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. Still don't know what Lacrimosa means. Let me know in the comments down below. So, with everything in mind, what is your thoughts about this? Well, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for listening to my voice today, although it's pretty short, but I wanted to get this done and dusted because it's one I really want to talk about. Now, if you like what you're hearing and seeing on this channel, well, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, you know what to do by now. Hit that notification bell. This has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, daddy bye.